Welcome to the Pursuing Points podcast, where it's all about the pursuit of credit card points and miles today so that you can travel the world free of charge tomorrow. And now, your host, Peter Foti.
Welcome to the podcast. It's the Pursuing Points podcast. Well, that was embarrassing. I realize that I always start off the podcast basically the same exact way, by introducing myself as the host and telling you my name and blah, blah, blah. So I figured I'd try something different. Although I don't think my singing skills are much to write home about, so we may never do that again. But we'll see. So hello, everyone. Welcome. This is podcast 20, the big 20 for Pursuing Points. I'll be honest, I thought it would take a little bit longer to reach 20, but luckily, now that we're in 2018, we've picked up a little bit of steam. People are listening, people are commenting, they're chatting, they're talking, and I think it's all fantastic. So, very excited about today's episode. I think folks are going to learn something. I know that I learned something while I was researching, and that's always fun. Anytime you can take a topic that you're passionate about and then further your understanding of it, I think that's really exciting. And I think that's what we're going to do here today. So, how are we going to do that? Well, today we're going to talk about dining programs. Now, before we get started, let's take a roll. Let's see. So, I want you to raise your hand if you don't know what a dining program is. Okay, 1, 2. All right. Well, of course, I can't see you, but my assumption is that I would say 35% of the listeners are raising their hand. You can go ahead and put those down. I'm sure people on the subway are looking at you. Maybe 35% is too high. Maybe it's too low. I'm not really sure. But today we're going to learn about what they are, why you should sign up, why they're important, what makes them interesting for us in our journey to pursue points. So why don't we just start off with a simple definition? So basically, a dining program offers cashback or bonus rewards with your favorite travel program for spending money while dining out. Now, obviously, cooking at home is cheaper than eating out. But with these programs, we can sort of soften the blow a little bit, get you some bonus miles or points or cashback when you do decide to go out for dinner. And the best part about these whole programs is that they're free. So they're free to join, they're free to use, and they can really be valuable if you're able to maximize them. So let's sort of kind of jump right into that, and let's figure out what I mean. So first of all, I explain sort of what they are. So how do they work? Well, basically, first you have to pick a program. Now, the majority of airlines and hotels, they're all going to have their own separate program. Now, they're all run by the same company called Rewards Network. We're not really going to get into what Rewards Network is or who they are, or try to understand their business model because, frankly, I don't know what it is. I mean, they're a privately run company. But if you do want to research them, the name of the company that manages the dining programs for all of these hotel and airlines is called Rewards Network. So jumping back, you have to pick a program that you want to earn miles on. So basically this program, once you sign up, will be the program where every time you go out to eat and you pay with your linked credit card, you're going to earn miles towards that program. So for instance, let's say that I picked Delta, which for the last 2 years, that is in fact the program I was a part of. So if I wanted to do this today, I'd go to skymiles.rewardsnetwork.com and I would start by going to the How It Works section. So how it works, well, you join. So you sign up for free. Like I said, this is all free. You sign up for free and you register your credit card. Now, why do you have to register a credit card? Well, when you go to eat out at these places, the only way that they can track you as being part of the dining program is if you pay with the credit card that you've registered to your account. Okay, so And basically, and the other thing that this means is that you can be signed up for multiple dining programs, but you can only register a card at one of them. So if you're signed up for the Delta program and the American Airlines program, you can only have your Sapphire Reserve, for instance, registered to one or the other, right? Of course, it would be awesome if you could just have the Sapphire Reserve everywhere and just be earning miles on every program every time you went out to eat. But like I said, because Rewards Network is the company managing this at a high level, that sort of thing is not going to happen. But that's okay. We can still get a lot of value out of it, even if we can't double, triple, quadruple dip. So we're on skymiles.rewardsnetwork.com. We join, we sign up, we register our card. Now, the fun part, right? Now we just get to go out and eat. So on the website, they say they have 11,000 participating restaurants, bars, or clubs. In my research for this episode, I went on one of the dining program's websites and typed in a few different cities, and the results will vary. So where I live in New York City is I got over 800 results in my sort of immediate vicinity. Where I just moved from in North Carolina, I got 70 results in that immediate vicinity. So right there, you could see a huge difference, 800 to 70. Miami, Florida, I tried. I got 230. LA, Los Angeles, I got 540. And then I typed in where I grew up in upstate New York, and I got 18. So, that 11,000 number is interesting, and it pops off the page. The reality is that unless you live in a bigger city, you're not going to have as many opportunities to really make use of this program. That's not to say that, you're in a small town or a small city and you sign up and there's not going to be anything available to you. It just means that you're just not going to have as many options. So keep that in the back of your head. But like I said, because the program is free, I still think it makes sense to sign up. And who knows, maybe you're going to want to go to a restaurant that you wouldn't have otherwise eaten at just to earn some miles and try something new. So keep that in mind. So after you've gone out to eat, step 3, you earn your miles. So there's a few different levels, at least for the Sky Miles program, in terms of how many miles you earn based on your level. And we're going to talk about those. But before we get into that, I want to just make sure we all understand. So when I say pick a program, right, this means you have to pick the pick the dining program that earns you the frequent flyer or the hotel points or miles that you value most, or the ones that are going to help get you over the hump. So, if you're at 48,000 American Airlines Advantage miles and you want to get to 50, sign up for the American program. If you're like me and you're only ever flying on Delta and you really value Delta miles, go ahead and sign up for Delta. But bear in mind that you can sign up for whichever program you want. So even if you have 0 points in your account, even if you've never flown on the airline before, you can still sign up for their dining program. So like for me, I'm seriously considering signing up for the JetBlue program, which offers 1 point per dollar. So it's a little less than what I'll earn with, say, Delta. But I think the miles are probably a little bit more valuable. If I don't go JetBlue, I have this other program that I'm interested in, which I'm going to talk about as well. But just know that you could sign up for programs with Hilton and IHG, which are both hotel chains, Alaska, Hawaiian Airlines, Southwest, Virgin Atlantic, JetBlue, United, American Delta, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's plenty of options. Pick the one where you think you'll get the most value and register your best card with it. And you can basically play the game in 2 ways. You can eat out at the places you would normally eat out at, and every now and then you might hit the jackpot, right? You could sort of do this lottery or slot machine style where you sign up, but you don't actually dine based on where you're going to earn points. You just sort of eat wherever, and then every now and then you'll see some points in your account. This can work, especially in a bigger city. I've already had this happen a couple times in New York. But in a smaller city, it's going to be much harder to hit the jackpot, so to speak. So, if it certainly behooves you to look on the website to see where you'll earn some bonus miles before heading out for your meal. So the way that the structure works, so I mentioned JetBlue, for instance, you earn 1 point per dollar. If you're a Mosaic member, you'll get 2 points per dollar. That's on the low end. Most programs follow the following structure. So you'll get 1 point per $2 spent if you sign up for the Delta SkyMiles program or United or American. They're pretty much all the same. So you'll earn 1 point per dollar, 1 point per $2 spent if you do not opt in to their emails. And this is sort of a recurring theme with these programs. And again, this is the Rewards Network. This is sort of their thing. Basically, if you don't agree to be sent emails, you're not going to get a whole lot of value out of these programs. So I recommend that you just say yes. If you're vehemently opposed to receiving an email from Rewards Network, you could always create like a secondary email account, I suppose. For me personally, it seems like a lot of work, not a lot of gain. And I do find the emails to be relatively helpful. So these are things like recommendations, new restaurants in your area that are now a part of the dining program, opportunities to earn bonus rewards, and then like your basic administrative emails, reward confirmations, things like that. So frankly, I don't think it's that obtrusive. I've been signed up for the emails since I started using these programs, and I would encourage you to do the same. So the next level is you'll earn 3 miles per dollar for $1 spent. And this is, of course, just as long as you're signed up to receive emails. So you could see it's a huge jump, right? Where before we were earning 1 mile to spend after we spend $2, now we're earning 3 miles just on $1. So a huge jump is as long as you opt into emails. And this is Delta, American, United, etc. So 3 miles per $1 spent. And this is on your first 12 dines per year. Now, after that, right, so after you have 12 or more dining transactions in a calendar year, and you're, again, still signing up to receive emails, you'll now get 5 miles per dollar. So they call this like the VIP tier. 5 miles per dollar is pretty good, right? You spend $50 at dinner, you get 250 miles. Not bad. I personally am not at this level. Like I said, where I had moved from, there wasn't a lot of opportunities. Now there is a lot more for me. I expect to be able to take more advantage of this moving forward. You'll have to decide for yourself whether or not you'll be able to maximize the value out of these programs, or, maybe you won't and you're just going to take it as it comes. Again, sort of that shotgun lottery style. So those are the 3 different tiers of earning, and those are going to be pretty much the same, like I said, for all of your airline and hotel programs. Some of them will be different. We mentioned JetBlue. I'm sure the other ones have some variation. But for the big 3, Delta, United, and American, they all work that way. Before we get into which cards you should use, I do want to mention another dining program. So this is called iDine, idine.com. So the iDine program is actually, again, it's run by the Rewards Network, but they sort of cut out the middleman. So rather than having to give Delta a cut of the proceeds, they pass on all the savings to the consumer. And with this program, you earn cash back as opposed to miles, which, generally speaking, I am a fan of earning miles to cash back because you can, again, generally speaking, earn more value out of miles than you can straight cash back, right? Like, all things being equal, I would rather have, say, 1 JetBlue point to 1 penny, right? I think that the point is probably a little bit more valuable. But in this case, in this program's case, the earning structure is really hard to beat, and I'm not sure that you can beat it with a regular dining program. In fact, this was one of the things that I came across in researching for this episode, and it's possible, and I would say maybe even likely, that this is the program I'm actually going to sign up for in 2018 and use moving forward. So how does this one work? Well, you get 5% cash back when you spend less than $750 a year. Okay. So, and of course, again, this assumes you've signed up for the emails. If you don't sign up for the emails, you'll get nothing out of this program. So you get 5% on your first $750 in purchases per year, and then you get 10% back after you spend $750. Now, the way that this is distributed is that you'll get a $20 American Express gift card mailed to you every time you reach $20 in rewards. And basically the way that that breaks down is that you'll get your first $20 gift card after you spend $400. You'll get your next $20 gift card after you spend an additional $375. And then you'll start to get $20 gift cards every time you spend $200 at restaurants. So the way that I look at this is basically if you can get yourself to that 10% level, which I think really means you have to live in a big city where there's a lot of options, so you're not going to get sick of eating the same stuff over and over. But if you can get to that 10% level, I think that, that's unmatched, right? And again, once we talk about the credit cards, we'll see how that, how it all comes together, what your total cash back is. But 10% is killer, right? Even 5% is really good. I don't know of any cards that earn 5% back on dining. So even at a minimum, you're earning a lot. And yeah, I think that when you compare 5% to 3 miles per dollar, I think at that point, I think the value proposition is a little bit better for cashback. And so I'm more inclined to go the cashback route. At 10%, I'm definitely going the cashback route. Just because at the end of the day, especially if you're taking this more shotgun approach, it's not like you're going to earn thousands and thousands of miles a year. You might earn 1,000 or 2,000, but this is not necessarily going to be the thing that gets you into first class, on Emirates or something like that. These dining programs are meant to be sort of a secondary earning mechanism. And so, for me, I've only earned, I think last year I earned 1,000 Sky Miles with the program. This year I've already earned about 500 just because of, like I said, I'm living in a place where I have more access to these restaurants. But all that being said, I'm still seriously considering the iDine program. Anyone listening who has used it or has feedback, I'd love to hear it. So please reach out. But keep it in mind. So it's idine.com. And again, you can either sign up for this one. You can sign up for hotel, airline rewards programs. It's really up to you. Whatever you think is going to get you the most value. For my money moving forward, I'm fairly certain iDine is going to be the way to go. But I'm sure I'll have an update to this at some point later in 2018. So to this point now, let's say that we've picked a program. Now we have to decide which cards should I link to the program. I want everyone to take a guess of what they think I'm going to recommend, because chances are anyone who's listened to the podcast knows that, of course, this Chase Sapphire Reserve, at least for my money, is the number one card on this list. So that card, you get 3 points per dollar on dining, which means, once we're talking about the iDine program, for instance, that's a minimum of, say, 13% cash back on dining if you can unlock the 10% number, 8% if not. And that, of course, doesn't include any sort of portal bonus or transfer bonus. That's just at a minimum, which is incredible. So Sapphire Reserve, 3 points per dollar. But there's other cards you could consider and other cards that might work better for you. So the Chase Sapphire Preferred is 2 points per dollar. The Amex Premier Rewards Gold is 2 points per dollar. The Bank of America Premium Rewards card. So this is the one that has sort of a funky structure based on how much money you have with Bank of America / Merrill Lynch. If you have a lot of money with them, and I think it's like over 100,000, you'll get 3.5 points per dollar on dining. If you have a little bit less, it's 3 points. I think that number is around 50K, and then 2 points per dollar on dining if you don't have a ton of money with Bank of America / Merrill Lynch. The Capital One Saver card is 3% back on dining. I talked about this card on the Millennials, the Cards for Millennials podcast. 3% is good. There's no annual fee. For my money, I would rather earn those points. honestly, probably on any other card, Sapphire Preferred, Sapphire Reserve. But that's up to you. Bear it in mind, 3% back on dining is good, especially with no annual fee. And then lastly, we've got the City Prestige, Thank You Premier, Thank You Preferred. All of those earn 2x on dining. So really, any of those cards would work. Some of them would work better than others. It all really comes down to your personal strategy, what cards you've got in your wallet, and what you would normally use for dining. But basically, I would say when you go out to a restaurant, whatever card you whip out, that's the one you want to connect to your dining program, because that's the one that presumably will maximize your benefits. Of course, like I said, for me, it's the Sapphire Reserve, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Oops, sorry about that. The microphone sort of fell. What else? So I guess the last thing to cover is just bonuses. So for instance, right now, if you sign up for the American Airlines program, you'll earn 1,000 Advantage miles by spending $25 in the first 30 days, and you must sign up before April 30th. So this is a great way to pad your balance, and you can earn this bonus even if you're already using like another program, assuming you haven't signed up yet. But because remember, you can sign up for as many of these programs as you want. You can just only have one credit card. You can only have the same credit card. What is happening with my microphone? You can only have the same credit card registered to one account at a time. So if you want to go for the American 1,000-mile bonus and you're already using the reserve on another account, you're going to have to move it or just use a different card. United is offering 1,000 bonus miles after you spend $25 on your first restaurant visit, plus another 1,000 after you spend $100 at any participating restaurants within the first 30 days. And for that one, you have to sign up by March 30th, 2018. So if you're listening to this podcast months and months into the future, hello from the past. These offers may have already run out, and if they have, I apologize. But if you're listening to this in present day, welcome. And feel free to try and take advantage of these. So you can earn, it looks like 3,000 miles in total between American and United, which is nothing to sneeze at, especially when you can do it for free, effectively, right? Assuming you're going to eat out anyway, that's a great way to pad your balances. So that's just about it. So yeah, to wrap up, like I said, these programs are free. I don't see any good reason not to sign up. If somebody has feedback for these programs, they had a bad experience, or maybe you've had a great experience, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. If you have any questions, which program should I sign up for? Which card should I use? If you want sort of personal feedback, as always, feel free to email me, peter@pursuingpoints.com, or you can use pursuingpoints.com/contact. That is all for today. Thank you for listening. I think we've got a little bit of a streak going here. I believe this was the third or maybe fourth week in a row. I think third week in a row with an episode, which I'm super excited about. As I've continued to say, I think the feedback has been phenomenal. I did see some iTunes reviews go up, which I thought was great. I really appreciate those. So yeah, thank you all for listening. I continue to appreciate your feedback, comments, concerns, etc. So feel free to reach out with that. This episode was a little bit shorter, and I think that that's okay. I'm not trying to fill time. I want to present information as quickly as possible while also maintaining quality, right? So I feel like this one, we got a lot of information in a short period of time. Hopefully you're going to be able to take it and start maximizing your earnings with dining programs. So best of luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next week.